Imagine a space probe which is at a distance of 24 billion kilometers or 15 billion miles has a failure in its memory chip. It's practically impossible for humans to travel such a long distance to fix the memory chip. But the technical team in NASA has done the unthinkable. They managed to remotely fix the space probe which is at a distance of 24 billion kilometers. This is a story of resilience. This is a story of the heroic Voyager 1. Hi, my name is Kalyan, and today I would like to tell you a great story of Voyager 1 space probe. As you may be aware that two space probes, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, they were launched in the year 1977. So they were launched maybe 16 days apart. So first Voyager 2 was launched and 16 days after Voyager 1 was launched, and this was in 1977. And the main aim of these Voyager missions by NASA was to explore the interstellar space. So interstellar space is something which is beyond our solar system, or maybe you can say beyond the sun's heliosphere. So this was the main intention of launching these two space probes, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Now, so when these space probes were launched, they took some phenomenal images of a lot of planets in our solar system. As I'll just flash a few of these images. So these were the very first images which we saw about different planets in. So I would say that this was the very nearest flyby, maybe that's the right term, which any space probe made. And this is when we came to know in detail about Saturn's rings, or maybe in detail about Jupiter, or in detail about planets like Uranus or Neptune, which are very far away from us. So these were the space probes which gave us a lot of details about the planets in our solar system, even though the mission was to study more about the interstellar space. So these two space probes have a significant place in the history of astronomy, and especially Voyager 1, it was almost moving at a speed of maybe 3.6 astronomical units per year, and Voyager 2 was moving at a speed of maybe 3.3 astronomical units per year. Now for some of you who don't know what an astronomical unit is, so the distance between Earth and Sun, the average distance between Earth and Sun is considered to be 1 astronomical unit. So Voyager 1 was traveling faster, of course, than Voyager 2, and every year the relative distance between the Earth and Voyager 1 was becoming more compared to that of Voyager 2. So, of course, when the distance becomes more from Earth, it becomes very difficult to communicate with the space probe. So, as of last year, Voyager 1 was about 22 or 23 light hours away from Earth. So now what it means is, if you point a laser beam towards Voyager 1, it takes about 23 hours for it to reach Voyager. So the light itself takes 23 hours to reach Voyager 1, so it's that far from Earth. Now, of course, communication becomes challenging, so there are an array of lot of radio telescopes that detect this signal, amplify it, and get the data from Voyager 1. So that's how from last few years the communication is being really difficult with Voyager 1. And especially in November of 2023, last year, Voyager 1 started sending some random data, which was not meaningful. And also before this, maybe I have to say that in the year 1990, Voyager 1 took a family photo of our solar system, the Sun and all the possible planets that it could capture in 1990. So this is a very famous photograph, and after which its camera was shut down in order to save the battery or fuel, whatever you call it, so that it can travel more distance in space. So from then on, one by one, the sensors were shut down to save the battery, and only few essential sensors were running on Voyager 1. Now coming back to the point which I was talking earlier, in November of last year, 2023, Voyager started sending some random or meaningless signals. So the scientists thought that something is wrong with the system, Voyager system, and almost everyone on this planet Earth thought that it's the end of the space probe after, it was launched in 1977, and like almost after 46 or 47 years of service, everyone thought that this is the end of Voyager 1. It has traveled a long distance, gave a lot of useful information. Now, something which is so far away from Earth, like which is 23 light hours away from Earth, is definitely beyond repair. Like someone can't go there, repair and come back. Like no humans can go that distance. And also, adding to it, like Voyager 1 memory was about just 69 to 70 kilobytes. That's it at that time, like in 1977. Voyager 1 was having a memory of around 69 to 70 kilobytes, and it was launched into the space. So this may seem to be a very less memory these days, but that is how things were back then. Now coming to how it was repaired. So somehow scientists in NASA, they figured out that one of the 3 computers that was present inside Voyager 1, so a memory chip of one of those computers was beyond repair. Like at least 3% of that memory chip was beyond repair. So it was hit by probably a particle in the interstellar space, and the chip was beyond repair. So the piece of code whichever was residing in that part of the memory chip that was lost forever. So the scientists had a challenge in front of them. So now whichever piece of code was missing, they had to send that piece of code to Voyager, which is about 23 light hours away from Earth. And they have to make sure that this code resides in other part of the chip which was not damaged, or maybe in other computers. And they have to also ensure that all these pieces of code work together. So that was really a big challenge. And also, for one signal that the scientists send from Earth, it takes about 23 hours for the signal to reach Voyager. And to get the response, it takes another 23 hours. So whether to get a confirmation of something has happened or not, the scientists had to wait for 46 hours. So which is a phenomenal amount of time, and a lot of patience is required in order to do this with something which is so far in space. And so the scientists of NASA, they showed a lot of patience and finally managed to fix Voyager 1 back to normal by May 2024, which was about last month. And this is really an amazing story. So our scientists could repair something which was which is about 23 light hours away from us. And so this is really a wonderful story, and this is what I wanted to share with you today.